Hi, today we're going to work on shoulder flexibility and shoulder mobility. In gymnastics, this is so important. It's so important to maintain shoulder flexibility and mobility because we need it for all of our skills. It will improve tumbling, blocking, body positions, and just about everything we need for gymnastics. Also, it's great for injury prevention. So what we're going to do is we're going to start with a quick warm-up to get our shoulders warm. We're going to do about 10 forward arm circles and just get them moving and warm. And then we're going to go backwards about 10 times before we start our more intensive stretching. What you'll need for this series is a rod or a stick or some kind of dowel, something you can find at home. It can be a broomstick or whatever you have. Or you can use like exercise bands, and you'll also need a towel. Just a small towel or rag will work perfectly. Let's cross in front about 10 times. And we'll be pulling those items out in a little bit to help with our stretching. And again, we just want to warm up our shoulders so they're ready to go. Side to side. Great. And once our shoulders feel a little bit warm, we're going to move on to our other stretches. So the first thing I want to do is I'm just going to start against the wall. I'm going to put my hands flat against the wall. And I'm going to try to drive my armpits down to the floor. So you shouldn't have bent arms because then you won't feel this so much in your shoulders. And let's hold this for about 30 seconds. So I'm driving my bottom half of my body backwards and pushing it against the wall, pushing my armpits to the floor. You should really feel this open up, and you can let your chest open up as well. Great. So after that, we're going to just stand. Your feet can be about body width apart. I'm going to clasp my hands and then try and drop over. And we're going to hold this for about 30 seconds as well. So really try to relax through your shoulders and feel the drop. The goal here is to get your hands closer to the ground. Keep your legs straight. And again, you can kind of push your bottom half back while driving your shoulders down to the ground and letting your hands drop over your head. Good. I'm going to cross in front. Each time I do a stretch, I usually like to sort of release and move my shoulders again. So from here, what I want you to do is grab your stick. I'm using a ski pole. It's what I could find. Again, you can use like an exercise band for this also. And I'm going to grab a little bit wide to start. What we're going to do is we're going to come over all the way to our backside and forward. I would like you to do this 15 times. The goal here is to keep it smooth. So if you feel a spot where you get stuck, work through it. If this feels easy, you can start inching your hands in closer. Try to keep an even pull with both your right side and your left side. And again, work through it. If you feel stuck, you can always open your hands back up and try to smooth out those transitions. And as it gets easier, challenge yourself and walk your hands in. But don't walk them in so much that you're unable to do the skill with good form. Try to keep your elbows pretty straight and again, pull back evenly with both sides. So I want you to do 15 here. Great. I'm not counting, I'm just showing, so you do your count. If you need to pause this, that's okay. Good. From here, we're going to stick with our stick or item and drop to the floor. The first thing I want you guys to do is go to your belly. I want you to keep your head down, and we're going to do the same idea. You're going to grab your stick and pull back to your bottom. If it feels easy and you don't have a challenge, you can always walk your hands in, but we want to keep the same principle of straightish arms and a smooth transition. And I want you guys to do about 10 here. And it's not a fast drill. You should slow it down and really feel your shoulders work. Good. And after you finish 15, we're going to stick with our stick. And I want you to place the stick in between your thumb and your first finger. And we're going to pull up and then back. And dip up and down. So up, back, up, down. Do this about 10 times. Up, back, up, down. Really extend and feel it in your shoulders. After you're done with 10, we're going to stay on the floor and do a cat stretch, sort of similar to what we did on the wall. Put your hands on the ground and push your elbows or your armpits down to the ground. Hold this for about 30 seconds. And really feel this stretch. You can play with it whether you're more flexible or not, even rocking side to side a little bit, but feel the stretch. After 30 seconds, we're going to stay in the same body position. I just want you to drop an arm through and hold this for about 20 seconds. After 20 seconds, go ahead and transition to your other side. Good. Feel the stretch and hold about 20 seconds. From here, we're still staying on the ground. We're going to go down to our tummy. I'm going to put one armpit down to the ground and push my my top leg back and really feel the release. So not only do we want to stretch our shoulders, but it's connected to everything in our body. So if our chest is really tight and our back's tight, it's hard to get good shoulder mobility. So here we're just opening up our upper half. Hold about 20 seconds on each side. And you can feel the drive away. Really push back with your leg. You should feel this. So about 20 seconds on each side. Once you're done there, you're going to sit in your pike position. Nice straight legs, pointed toes, and clasp your hands behind you. And we're going to do the same thing that we did standing, but now we're sitting. So the goal, again, is to drive your arms and your shoulders up and eventually get them over your head. So I'm going to have straight legs. We're going to hold here about 30 seconds and just go where you feel the challenge. You should feel this, but it shouldn't be painful. But you definitely want to feel a challenge. If it's easier, you keep pushing forward. Good. So like I said, about 30 seconds in that one. And then go ahead and put your hands behind your bottom and walk your feet out, your hands back. On this, it's really nice to get your hands as close as possible. And that's where you're going to see the benefits of this stretch. You can drop your knees side to side. And we're going to hold this for about a minute. So as you feel a little more relaxed in your shoulders, inch it out again. You don't want to just stay still. You want to work through it and continue to improve. So I have a lot of work to do. That's why we're doing this. And again, you can drop your knees side to side, inch it out. Try to get your hands closer together if they're not all the way in, and hold. And again, hold this for about a minute. Good. Let's go ahead and stand up. We're going to shake out our arms. You might feel this through your elbows all the way down. It just depends again on your level of flexibility. So from here, I'm going to grab my towel. You can actually do this with the stick. It's probably better though with a towel or a stick as opposed to your exercise bands. What we're going to do here is grab, one arm is up. I want your elbow pointed up to the sky, and you're trying to grab your hands behind you. So on this side, I don't need my towel. I'm able to reach my hands and pull. I want you to pull, try to pull your hands apart. If you cannot reach, that's where the towel comes in. And I'm going to drop the towel, use this, and then start to inch up and work on improving that stretch. So the goal is to get your hands to be able to reach each other. And we're going to hold this about 30 seconds. Try not to let your elbow go out. You want it up, close to your head, and you're keeping the tension going. Afterwards, go ahead and cross in front a couple times, and let's go to the other side. So this side, I'm really far off, so I definitely am going to use my towel and just start pulling. I want to keep the good form, keep my elbow up, keep the tension there, and as it starts to feel easier and I relax into it, I'm going to keep that tension going and walk my hands closer to each other. So again, it's about 30 seconds for each side. Good. You guys are awesome. And after you're done, let's go ahead and set our towel down and cross in front again. Like I said, it's really good to keep releasing each time. We're going to go back to the wall and start and do the stretch that we started with. So just press down, armpits down, drive through. And hold this again about 30 seconds. Hopefully you see some improvement. Push those armpits down and really drop. Relax through, breathe through it, and challenge yourself. Beautiful. So the last stretch we're going to do at the moment, I'm going to grab my stick again, and this really is going to be individual to you guys. It's kind of like you're rowing. I'm going to bring it around, circle, make sure I'm doing both sides. This is to release your shoulders. You can do any pattern you want, but keep the tension going and you should be able to feel a stretch. If you don't feel that stretch, try a different direction, put your hands closer, try a different pattern. I really feel it. And I can pull down, I can pull here. And you can actually do the other stretch that we did with our towel with your stick and pull. So it's a good tool to have, but really get the shoulders moving. So we did a lot of stretching, but we also want to work on the mobility. So keep them moving and do that for about a minute. You should feel this in your shoulders. And again, if it's too easy, challenge yourself and make the adjustments you need to do. I would go through this stretch probably twice in a row, go through everything twice so that you can feel and see if you're making improvements. That's all. Thank you.